All right, look, the price is not going down. The price is only going to go up for the factor line and for my course, Invest, Trade, and Think, like the crypto factor. Oh my God, Paul, what are you talking about? I thought you were going to talk about Bitcoin price and crypto markets. Yes, I am. Don't worry. Before you call me a clickbaiter, we will talk about that in just 1 second. But before that, just want to talk to you about the indicator that I use for TA, which I'll be using in this video for the Bitcoin price. So hold your horses here. But for this Black Friday, everybody's been asking me in my group, are you going to have a discount for your course that comes with the indicator, the factor line indicator? And the answer is no. I'm not giving any discount, but I will be holding the price down before it goes up after Black Friday. So instead of putting the price up and then telling you, look, I'm giving you a discount, I'm not gonna do that. I'm keeping the price the same till the end of the month. I think the 2nd of December. The 2nd December, the price will go up on the factor line. So if you were thinking about using it, this is your chance, okay? Now, let's use the factor line to do some TA for you, to talk to you about my views on the market so you can see exactly what you're getting other than the course if you actually buy it, okay? So here is the factor line. We're now looking at the weekly chart, and as you can see, it's gold, meaning we are still in structure. In other words, until this turns red, even though it's coming down here dangerously and it will become red at any moment, I'll talk to you about when this will happen in just 1 second, you can see we are still in structure. Now, if you look at what most influencers, including Benjamin Cohen, is talking about, they are talking about the weekly simple moving average. And their view is once we close under this, typically Bitcoin goes into a bear market. And this is true. This has been true so far. Whenever we closed under the weekly SMA, typically Bitcoin went into a bear market, but it always bounced at least to and a bit above the weekly SMA. At least that's what I'm looking at here. This drop is a little bit more than usual because actually 2 weeks going to the 3rd week here, which makes this more dangerous, but this does not constitute a bear market. We're still in structure. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the previous drop over here at 74,600. Let's just call it 75K psychological. As you can see, it was resistance before, broke out, and since then we have maintained structure. Until this line breaks and becomes resistance, Bitcoin is still in structure and it doesn't constitute for a bear market. Yes, we're in a bearish trend. There's no denying that, but it is not a bear market. Now, let's dive in a little bit more here. If we look at the factor line on the weekly, it told you to actually buy around the 27,000K level, and it's remained gold ever since. This is the long-term trend on the weekly. If you actually use the daily, you'll get in long before here, but let's just talk about the weekly real quick. Along the way, it's been telling you to buy and sell. See these SFP points? These are swing trading points. So in the longer trade, your investment is up, you do not sell, but your trading is buy, sell, buy again with conviction here, sell here, buy again right at the lows at 75K, sell, double sell here. We should have paid a little bit more attention here. And then it has not told you to buy since when it comes to the weekly. And yes, momentum, volume, and a couple of other indicators all combined in the trend stacker here is showing that there is weakness and more strength to the downside, even though this was over here and it's now moving up. And that's why I said when it was down here, it's also a reversal pattern depending on the chart. This is all in my course, by the way. I actually show you what to look for, how to use the factor line for swing trading and long-term investing, okay? Now let's get back to the chart and talk about Bitcoin because this is important here. And if we go to the daily, we will see that we came down into the mid-range of the previous range over here. And yes, the daily is red. Yes, there's a sell signal on the daily, and it has not told you to buy. But in the course, I talk about this candle over here, how there's a potential reversal compared to the previous mid-range structure. The factor line actually does this for you automatically, and that's why I said I'm expecting a bounce. We got a bounce. Let's see if there's follow through here, because this is important. Because remember, if we break this line in the sand, we are more than likely going into a bear market. By the way, for those of you talking about the death cross, because I know this is going to come up in my comment section, death crosses do not mean we are going into a bear market. Far from it. They're usually signs of reversals, or at least close to a reversal point. So even if we go lower, usually, especially Bitcoin, reverses after a death cross. Maybe a week, maybe two, maybe a little bit more after a death cross. If you don't believe me, look at every single death cross in the charts, in the historical charts. Out of 12 long time frame death crosses, Bitcoin always reversed soon after 80% of the time. So my odds go that we are close to a reversal, even though it may be short-lived. We're going to talk about that in just 1 second. I'm going to give you the full analysis here, not just the bullish, but also the bearish, so you can make up your mind, okay? I'm just showing you what I know, what I'm looking at for the factor line, using the factor line and my skills and my knowledge in crypto that you will also learn in the course if you decide to get it. Now, if we go to the 4 hour, because generally speaking, you want to look at all time frames. You want to look at all time frames to see what's going to happen. You'll see the factor line actually drew a range for you here and is currently about to turn gold and tell you to buy. It has not yet. If it does, it will probably do it once we break this range, or at least once it does, you should wait for this range to break if you trade my style, to see if there's going to be a continuation or to raise your chances of continuation. So that's what's going on the 4 hour right here. And if we go to the hourly, and that's all the time frames I personally use, you will see that the factor line actually told you to buy on the hourly. Look at this. Perfect swing trade. It told you to buy this swing over here. Did not tell you to exit, told you to buy, and we've been gold since. As a matter of fact, it told you to buy this dips over here. Now, that said, I just zoomed in and I do see that it just turned red. So if this continues, you should stay out, or at least you should wait until this becomes gold again. But generally speaking, you would not get in until this turns gold. Your stop losses would be under the previous swing points, or better yet, under when it turned gold over here to save capital. Long term, under this SFP point right here would be bearish, even though we're looking at the 74K level, and it would just be a higher low on the longer time frames. So I would wait for this to turn gold, then I would look at the 4 hour to confirm. That's the way I personally do it, and we still have time to see how this plays out. Now, as for the factor line, what is the factor line used for? Real quick, before we continue, I give you my opinions on cryptocurrencies, as in altcoins and so on, and also tell you what I'm personally doing in my strategy in this market, okay? And it's extremely important. You really want to pay attention here. All right, first of all, the factor line, it's used for long-term investing and swing trading. It's not really used for day trading, although you can use it for day trading. That's not my style, and I don't think it's your style. If it was your style, you wouldn't be watching this video. You'd be busy day trading. The majority of traders that swing trade make the biggest moves when it comes to crypto, conventional markets, and so on. Some of the biggest traders in the world only take 3 or 4 trades a year, okay? Crypto himself actually does this in a way, or actually does this. Alessio Rastani actually, he actually does this. Okay, biggest traders in the world actually take 3, maybe 4 or 5 trades a year, and that's it. They make the majority of the gains. YouTubers talk about day trading signals because that's the only way they can have people coming back and grow their channel. I'm not against that. I just don't think it's of value. I mean, what are you gonna do? Make videos every day saying, yep, we're in the range, let's just wait. Next day, we're in the range. It doesn't really work, so they have to have the thumbnails that drag you in, and they do day trading videos. And I get it. I really do get it. I'm not about day trading. I do swing trading and long-term investing. That's what you get on this channel. If that's something you like, subscribe down below, hit the bell notification button so you don't miss a video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, or you have subscribed, please check to see if you're still subscribed, because sometimes YouTube stops you. They take the subscription away and it doesn't really help my channel. So please check and see if you're subscribed. Now, the factor line has other things, or should I say other capabilities that a lot of people don't know about, and you can actually dive in and do quite a bit with the factor line. Let me just show you real quick what you can do here. If you go to settings, you can actually see all patterns. It actually finds patterns for you, although the course does tell you how to do this a little bit better, because all indicators are a little bit iffy when it comes to TradingView. But these are the candlesticks and formations that I personally use, and they're all implemented into the factor line, so you don't have to search that much and you don't have to buy a full subscription to be able to see more patterns. You get the double tops over here. It also gives you candlestick profiles if you want to do some really advanced stuff here when it comes to technical analysis for swing tradings in candles. This is something we teach in the course. This gives you an advantage. We're actually adding this section soon. We haven't added it yet, but we will. So for those of you that have the factor line, I'm getting that ready. It's about to come out. But because most of you are new here, you just started using the factor line since it's a new indicator, a few months, maybe 5-6 months. We still haven't added that part to the course yet, but we will, and we're adding more and more to the course and the factor line, including automation for trading and so on, okay? And I'm not talking about bots here. I'm talking about TradingView automation within the platform. So it's actually quite different, not like your typical bots you get on exchanges. Basically, the factor line buys and sells for you, either aggressively with the swing trading patterns I just showed you, or the long-term moves. You just buy and it does everything for you, but that's something we're implementing now. We need some time for that. It does alert you right now. You do have alerts, but we're trying to take it a step further. So again, let's just take these off for just 1 second over here, and let's take away the factor flow so you can get a little bit more into detail here if you want to use the factor line like I do. I had you on easy mode. This is actually a bit more complex, not in a sense difficult to do, but it shows you a different structure so you can see the reversals. The factor line keeps you safe, the factor flow keeps you safe. This one here, you can see this tightening, expecting a move to the upside or the downside. You're in range. And look, I'm gonna tell you right now, ranges tend to break direction of trends, but other signals that we talked about actually constitute for a bottoming formation here, or close to one if we get down here, in my opinion. Remember, if we get down here, it will be a double or triple bottom, depending on which time frame you look at. So let's see what happens. And yes, I'll get into altcoins in just 1 second. If you do decide to get the Crypto Factor, the Invest, Trade, and Think Like the Crypto Factor course, which comes with the factor line, you can see it right here. This is what you get and you learn. We are adding things to this. We're adding to it all the time. We have a private group that answers your questions, and it learns you how to literally trade like I trade, invest like I invest, trade like I trade, how to use the factor line, and then how I personally think. And we have more videos coming out to this weekly, and after the new year, there's going to be a lot more implemented, and this gets upgraded all the time. It's going to keep on getting upgraded so we can trade together in the bear market, in the next bull market. And right now the price is 1,297. This will go up incrementally to 2,600. So not after Black Friday, but it will slowly come up to this price. It'll probably start going up after Black Friday to reach this price over here as we add content. So I'm leaving the early bird pricing for you right now, and you can see the success stories. We have all verified success stories of people using the course and the factor line here. So with that said, let's talk about altcoins. Let's see what's going on with altcoins right now and what my views are. And altcoins right now are starting to show some life on the hourly. If we go to the daily, you get a better picture over here. Things are starting to look green. This does not mean they're gonna start going up, but things are starting to look green, at least for the ones that we are in. And we are betting right now, short term, if this bull market continues, if this turns around, we're gonna talk about the levels in just 1 second. I still have to talk to you about the levels to watch out for, to get out for a bear market or to get in for a bull market. But let me just talk to you about altcoins real quick, then we'll get to that, okay? Bear with me. I know this video is covering a lot of stuff here, but it's really important, okay? So I'm looking at privacy, perpetual dexes, and my major coins that you just saw on screen, okay? So take a screenshot here. Take a screenshot. This is what I'm mostly in for a potential altcoin season or altcoin run, or if altcoin recovery, whatever you want to call it, because look, they're gonna recover and then we're gonna see if it becomes an alt season or not. And when I talk about alt season, please, I wanna be very specific here, selective alt season. I've been talking about this throughout 2023, throughout 2024. We're gonna have mini alt seasons and selective alt season. The selective alt season, if it happens, is gonna be now, before the end of the year, otherwise it won't happen. It's over, okay? And the end of the bull market still is, in my views, end of 2025, beginning 2026. So we're in the last leg up. We're waiting to see if we get that parabolic rise up, if that makes sense. That said, let me show you what else I'm holding and which levels I'm looking at for that to play out. Let's go to also my favorites. These are the other coins I'm holding, not because I may be believing in them 100%, just because I have some left over and some are allocations. I just want to show you everything I'm holding. So these are my holdings. These are smaller amounts typically, or allocations. Beam, I have Beam nodes. ATH, I get, because of my Beam nodes, you get Beam and ATH, Aether, and Supra, I also have a location which I'm getting paid, and AGI as well. These are all disclosed in all videos, and my ones I'm really into or really believe in are these ones, and not all of them will go up, but enough should go up for you to make profits, if that makes sense. Zcash, we already talked about this. I actually said it's one of the warning signs that we're getting towards the end of the market. If you look at my Zcash videos, I actually called the move up from $144 to $700. And now we're gonna see if that breaks for a continuation, if we get that parabolic phase, or it's gonna act as one of the indicators for the markets to end, since if you zoom out, you can actually see that bull markets ended when Zcash pumped to these levels or just below these levels in the past. Let me show you that real quick. Even though I did show you in other videos, if we go to Zcash over here and we zoom out, these little spikes here are pretty much where the bull markets ended, and that's what we're seeing now. I actually said I was anticipating a bigger move this time. We got that bigger move, and now we're gonna see if we're coming to the end, which falls into end of 2025, beginning 2026, just like I was saying. Called it at $144, currently sitting at $508, took profit to $700. You're welcome if you followed my call there. Well done, congratulations. So what are the levels I'm looking at on Bitcoin and what you need to pay attention for, okay? This is probably the most important part of the video, so let's get right into it. So looking at the Bitcoin price, let's quickly go to the daily just so we can see it a little bit better over here. I'm looking at this support of 74,242. This here is the prior low. This here would break structure. If we break under this, if we come and do something like this, then this will probably lead to a bear market. Yes, we have support at this region, but we will probably more than likely range for a while before we break up and go back in to a potential bull market. And this will probably constitute for a bear market, maybe a little bit shorter than others, we shall see. The price I'm looking to break to the upside for continuation are two. One is at 100,000 psychological. Actually, it's 99,890, but always go to the psychological and the near psychological number. This is the way I trade. That's one of Paul's rules or factor rules. But this is the line I'm looking at. We have to see if we're gonna reject here. Let me just do this again. So let's say we come up over here and we reject here and start coming down. This is where you have to be very, very careful, extremely careful. Let me just change the color here so that you don't get confused. Maybe blue wasn't the best color to choose. Let's choose green because it's the bullish case. This is a reversal I'm anticipating. And the next reversal is at the top, or where the top of the prior range over here that the factor line gave us. But even if I don't look at that, it's right at 108,000 where the breakdown was that we talked about in our analysis in the past. So if that happens, and we actually break out. So let's use another color real quick here just to make sure you see this, but let's just do it in a second. Let's say we come up and we actually break up. This is the next level we need to watch, because if we go down, then this here would be it would be a heads and shoulders, or should I say potential long-term head and shoulder pattern, which will constitute a top. So let's just do a darker green for this one, and you can see the heads and shoulders right here. Look, left shoulder, this is not the best color to do this, let's use white. Left shoulder, down, head, down, right shoulder, down. So this is the pattern I'm mostly expecting for the end of this bull market, if that makes sense. The third thing, which is the most, I don't think this is gonna happen, to be quite honest with you, but the third thing that we can look at, sorry, let me just put that back to dark green. But the third thing we can look at is a continuation. Sorry, I meant white. Now, the third thing we can look at is a continuation if this right shoulder breaks, which is a long shot, but it is definitely a possibility. But I'm not planning on this. I'm making plans around this, and I'll explain to you in 1 second what I mean. So in this case, let's say the price breaks up and comes up here. I would expect for a double top just because of the timing in the market. But if we do come down and break above again and we continue, then we can look at full parabola or extended market scenarios, and we can reevaluate when the time comes, if that makes sense. And yes, look, as far as I'm concerned, yes, there's more potential to the downside, but until I'm proven otherwise and until structure breaks, all these here are possibilities, and that's what I'm looking at. And that's why I disagree just looking at the weekly simple moving average as an indicator. Yes, I get it, but these indicators break all the time, or tend to break all the time, maybe not on Bitcoin, but they do tend to get invalidated. And sometimes history rhymes. It doesn't always repeat. And we're still at the end of this bull market, in my opinion, and you have no idea what could possibly happen in 2 weeks or so. Even if we just get a rebound, relief rally, dead cat bounce, whatever you want to call it, altcoins can certainly still pump, giving you better exits. Now, with that said, make sure you check out the factor line over here. If you want, you can scan this code right here. See if it's for you, if you want to buy it along with the course for Black Friday or before Black Friday, and it's also in the description down below. That said, if you are trading and investing in crypto, there are things that you do not know about and you need to learn. So I'm gonna give you 2 things to end this video, 2 things of value, two value factors. I'm gonna give you 2 value factors for the end of this video. And yes, this was a one-take video, it was all live, you're welcome. So here are 2 things to look at. Number 1, this video right here will show you 10 things you're doing wrong, 10 myths busted that you have no idea how important they are. If you wanna see how I think, watch this video. Number 2 is, check out my other channel if you want to be an entrepreneur, learn sales, and actually make it in life, because crypto's not enough. So check this video out, check my other channel out, and I will see you in the next video or channel.